Hey guys, Kevin here. What I'd like to do in this video is a series of audio tests for my GoPro Hero 6. This audio test, or this series of audio tests, is applicable to the GoPro Hero 5 and the Hero 5 session as well, because I will be using the official GoPro Pro 3.5mm mic adapter. This thing is pretty big. It's about half the size as the camera. It's quite expensive as well. It's about $50, £50, and it's a pain that you need to use this. It really is. But unfortunately, if you want to improve the audio in your GoPro, if you want to improve the audio and the footage that you record, this is what you need to buy. So I'm going to be doing a series of tests. First, I will be doing a test at home to show you the audio at home. Then I'll be doing one outside, and then I will be doing one in my car. I'll be reviewing the audio from the GoPro itself, which is bad audio. I will be doing the Rode VideoMicro, which is a little bit better. I've got the Shure VP83, which is better again. And I'll also be reviewing how it sounds with a lavalier mic. Now, I don't know the brand of this. My friend works in sound engineering and he gave me this one. This could be a very good lavalier mic, or it could be just a run-of-the-mill average lavalier mic. I'm not sure. Now, when you go plug this in, when you go and insert the adapter, you go into the menu area. And I showed you this the other day in the review, but it's worth mentioning. Okay, I'll plug something in to see if it pops up. Okay, so that audio input was greyed out there because you need to attach the mic before you insert the GoPro attachment, the adapter. When you go into audio input, you've got standard mic, you've got standard mic plus, you've got powered mic and powered mic plus. Standard mic is for non-powered mics. This is a non-powered mic. It just draws power from the GoPro itself. This is a powered mic. It's got a battery. So there's different options, standard mic or powered mic. There's also an option for line input, but that's not necessary. The option for powered mic plus or standard plus just adds 20 decibels of gain. Now, having tested these already, I think it's too much adding 20 decibels of gain, and it's not necessary in this one because you can add it manually as well. So throughout these tests, I will be using standard mic for this one, and for this one, and for this one I'll be using powered mic. I won't be using standard mic plus or powered mic plus. When I'm doing these tests as well, they'll all be held in this frame, this aluminium frame, even when I'm just using the GoPro itself. At home and outside, I'll be using this selfie stick. So it does pick up a little bit of handling noise when you're using just the GoPro. When I'm in my car, I will be using, if I can get it here, the GoPro suction cup and locking arm. This is a fantastic accessory. Okay guys, so I'm going to do a series of tests now, and you can see for yourself which one is better. So as a reminder, we're going to be testing the GoPro audio, the default audio. This is quite bad. I'm going to be testing the Rode VideoMicro, and I will be using the dead kitten in all situations. So I don't have a way to raise this up yet, so I apologise if this large dead kitten comes into the shot. It will come into the shot, so bear that in mind. The focus here is in audio, and I'm not going to be modifying the audio because that defeats the point of an audio test. Then the Shure VP83. This is about 4 times the cost of the Rode VideoMicro, and then the lavalier mic. Let's get to it. Okay guys, this is the first test. I'm in my kitchen. Now it is fairly quiet in my house, but in the kitchen there's a little bit more noise from the fridge, the freezer and things like that. So this is the default audio of the GoPro Hero 6. You will maybe hear a little bit more handling noise from the selfie stick and things like that. The audio isn't amazing, but it is unfortunately what you need to deal with. So next, let's try the Rode VideoMicro. So now I'm using the Rode VideoMicro standard mic, and you can see the adapter and the red wire, but you can also see the dead kitten. So that's something I'll need to fix with the Rode VideoMicro. I need to buy like a little spacer to raise it up so that this dead kitten isn't in the shot. Now, I don't actually need that dead kitten inside. That's more for outside. It's perhaps useful in the car as well, but I wanted the test to be consistent. I wanted the same microphone and the same setup to be used in every situation. Now, before I was just using the default GoPro Hero 6 audio. You should hear a marked difference already. My voice should be a little bit clearer, and overall you will hear less handling noise, less little background noises and things like that as well, unwanted background noises anyway, like handling noise. And when I've tested this before, you heard a lot of noise from the selfie stick and stuff. So next, what I want to do is test my Shure VP83. It's powered on, so let's test that. So I'm now using my Shure VP83. This is a much better microphone, which is understandable. It does cost around $200 or so. It's a very good mic, but it is battery powered. And that's good in many ways because it means that it can produce better audio, but it does mean that you always have to make sure that you switch the power on. And believe me, there will be one time when you forget to turn it on and you record a clip and then you find out that there's no audio. Overall though, this should be better audio than the Rode VideoMicro. You do get what you pay for, and it is because of the microphone being raised a little bit higher, you don't see it in the shot, but that's maybe because I don't have a dead kitten on this either. The dead kitten would probably get in the shot if I was using it. So I'm now recording using the lavalier mic that I've got. This is the one that I use a lot with my audio recorder and sometimes with my smartphone. This is a really good microphone. It is good, but you always have to set it up correctly. You know, if you do that there, you should be able to hear it. I have found sometimes that with the lavalier mic, if you don't set it correctly at the start, if you don't position it correctly, you know, in your shirt, on your jumper or something, you don't get the audio that you want, and sometimes it might come in and out, you know, when you're walking around. So now I'm recording outside, and I was going to venture somewhere else and make it a little bit noisier, but there's a little bit of wind, so you should be able to pick up a little bit more noise from the wind. It's not the windiest of days, it's not, you know, it's not terrible weather, but there is a little bit more wind here outside than you will hear inside, and hopefully you will hear better audio when you attach the external microphone. The default GoPro Hero 6 audio that I'm recording with just now, it should pick up a little bit more, you know, wind noise and just little noises in the background that you don't want. So I'm now recording again with the Rode VideoMicro, and you should be able to see that because of the big dead kitten that's on it. The audio should be okay outside. The Rode VideoMicro's one of the reasons it's really popular is because it's so versatile. You know, it can be used inside, it can be used outside. It comes with the dead kitten and it's fairly cheap, and it'll work with your smartphone, your action camera, your regular camera, and that's why I think it is a fantastic secondary mic. It is a fantastic mic to have in your arsenal. Even if you don't think it's your best mic, sometimes it is the best mic for the situation. So I'm now recording with the VP83, the Shure VP83. Should be a little bit better than the Rode VideoMicro and a lot better than the default audio in the GoPro Hero 6. Now what I've got here is a mini wind jammer. This is like a dead cat, a dead kitten. It will reduce wind noise. When I first came out, it was actually quite windy, but when I've set everything up, the winds went away, which is disappointing because wind would actually have been quite good today to show you the difference side to side. But with the foam cover that this microphone has built in, you shouldn't receive any, you know, handling noise or wind noise anyway. So once again, I've got my lavalier mic attached. There is a little bit of wind protection here. You can see I've got the little foam cover on it, the little Michael Jackson haircut I like to call it. There's a little bit of wind outside, but this should protect against it, should reduce the wind noise. Let me know what you think and which one you thought gave the best audio. So I'm now in my car, guys, and I'm recording using the GoPro Hero 6 with no external microphones. I've had to make a slight adjustment to this test because in the other videos I was using this aluminium housing frame, so that was a little bit consistent. It was the same housing frame that was used with the, you know, to hold my external microphones, but it didn't create a lot of noise when I was using the selfie stick. But in a car, with the car bumping up and down on the road, the audio is really, really bad. And when I listened to the clip, I went back to test it, and when I listened to the clip, I realised that it was an unfair test. So I'm not using this aluminium frame, I'm using the default case, the one that comes with the GoPro Hero 6, the plastic case. It shouldn't cause as much handling noise, as much noise you get from the road bumping up and down, but it will remain the worst audio option compared to my Rode VideoMicro, my Shure VP83 and my lavalier mic. So guys, now I'm using my Rode VideoMicro, and you may notice that the dead kitten is actually coming from the bottom, and that's because with the Joby suction cup I've actually hanged my GoPro Hero 6 upside down. And this is one of the features, it seems like such a small thing, but this is one of the things I love about the GoPro Hero 6. When you do film upside down, when you turn the camera around and you start filming from that mode originally, then it turns everything around. It turns the notifications in the front little LCD panel, it turns the back panel around, and it turns your footage around, so you're not going to be shooting upside down. And this is really helpful if you're going to be recording in your car, because with the way that you angle the suction cup on your windscreen, when you add an external microphone, it gets a little bit squashed in the corner. It's much easier and much more practical to just hang it upside down and have the external microphone underneath. So right now I'm recording through the Rode VideoMicro. It should sound a lot better than the default microphones, without a doubt. But what I'm going to do now is stop for a second and I'll put in my Shure VP83. So I'm now recording with my Shure VP83. I've switched the setting from standard mic to powered mic, and one of the things I really like about this setup is that in addition to placing the camera upside down, so you can place it in a better position, I can use the GoPro app with my phone, which I've positioned here, and using this app I can preview the shot before I start recording, but I can also start recording and I can stop recording. So for example, when I park up, I like to indicate and get away and get on the road, and then I want to start recording, and it just isn't safe or practical to lean over and start recording that way. I can just push start and stop recording here, and I can also change settings, and I can check everything's okay. It shows you here that I'm recording at 4K 60 frames per second in the wide mode. So the whole setup with GoPro, it is a really good fix. It's a really good match, for doing moto vlogging, for doing car vlogging, and this is something I like to do in the future. I love the idea of, if I'm doing a long journey, putting the suction cup onto my onto my window, not my dashboard, and just start talking, recording and doing videos for YouTube and recording cool footage. So I've now switched to my lavalier mic, and when I tested my lavalier mic before, I thought the audio was quite good. Whether it's the best option for recording in a car, that's something you really have to decide. I've switched back from the powered mode back to the standard mode because this lavalier mic doesn't use a battery. But I think with the setting, with the standard mode setting and the powered mode setting, and with standard plus and powered plus, you do need to do your audio tests. You need to check what sort of environment that you're recording in. You need to do lots of tests, inside, outside, and make a note of what the best settings are for different situations with different microphones. I've found that with the mics I've used, I don't need those extra 20 decibels that you get when you add the plus, so I don't feel that I need the extra 20 decibels, the extra gain. It does make it louder, without a doubt it does make it louder, but sometimes what that also does, normally what it normally does, is it adds a lot of unwanted sounds as well. It adds a lot of sounds that you don't want, background noise, rumbling, anything that it's picking up is kind of magnified. So it's a little bit everything is louder than it has to be, and you also run into issues with clipping where your the gain level's too high, and this can cause distortion and all these other problems. So for me, for the microphones that I've got, the standard is better than the standard plus, and the powered is better than the powered plus. Let me know what you think, guys, about these options for recording audio with your GoPro in your car, because like all of my audio tests, many people who are watching these videos and my subscribers, etc., a lot of people have different opinions as to which mode and which microphone is the best. I'm at home now, and I've looked and listened to the clips that I recorded at home, just outside and in my car. Now, I wanted to show a lot of different recording situations, and I wanted to show you a variety of microphones just to show you what is possible. But the other thing that I really wanted to show you, and perhaps the purpose of this video, was to show you that the audio in the GoPro Hero 6 is really bad. It's really, really bad. And I think this is something that GoPro need to address. Now, one of the reasons I think this is because I've got a Sony action camera from 4 or 5 years ago, and the audio in that is much, much better, and that's older technology. Now, the good news is that if you're willing to spend a little bit of money on the official microphone adapter, which is, $50, I think it's quite expensive for what it is, but it's kind of necessary. It's big, it's bulky, it's expensive, but it is necessary. But once you've got this adapter, and once you've bought equipment like this aluminium frame, this housing to put your external microphone on, then you can improve the audio quite a lot, and it does really transform your videos into clips that can't be used into clips that are, they look really, really professional. So if you are planning on doing vlogging, recording clips in your car, if you just need good audio in your footage, then you probably should go out there and buy the official microphone adapter, and you should maybe look into the different options you've got as far as external microphones go. Thanks for watching, guys. Please do leave a comment below. Give me your thoughts on all this. Let me know what your thoughts were on the different recording situations and which microphone you thought performed the best. And I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.